Just imagine. The entire world had accepted electric cars as the future, and now the CEO of Toyota has made an announcement that has taken the entire auto industry by storm. He has clearly stated that they have developed a zero-emission combustion engine which will not only replace petrol and diesel, but will also shake up the entire EV industry. This is shocking to hear, isn't it? Until now, the world considered EVs the ultimate solution for clean and green energy. But if Toyota's new engine proves successful, imagine what will happen to Tesla, BYD, and other EV companies. This concept is also better for countries where EV charging infrastructure is underdeveloped, like India, Africa, and many Southeast Asian countries. Rapid EV adoption is difficult there, but a zero-emission engine that runs on hydrogen or synthetic fuel would be an easy and practical option. Imagine, while Tesla, BYD, and others bet everything on EVs, Toyota is opening a new path with this engine. If successful, it could really change the direction of the EV revolution. This isn't just an engine, it could honestly be the future of mobility, but before understanding this engine, it's important to know just how much effort Toyota has put into it. The company didn't start working on this concept suddenly, it's actually been researching it for almost a decade. When the EV wave was gaining momentum worldwide, Toyota engineers realized, EVs aren't the only solution for every market. In the initial phase, these engines were tested in Japanese research labs and on private tracks. The hydrogen engine entered testing between 2015 and 2016 when it was used in motorsports. Toyota tested it in cars like the Corolla Sport and Yaris, and surprisingly, these cars performed like conventional engines but emitted no smoke. Moreover, hydrogen engine cars were raced on tracks like Suzuka and Fuji Speedway to test them in real conditions. Reports indicate these vehicles matched petrol engines in speed, power, and driving experience, sometimes even surpassing them. This result was a shock because many believed hydrogen engines would be weak, but Toyota broke that myth. So, Toyota has actually been researching hydrogen and zero-emission combustion engines for at least 10 to 12 years now. Since 2010, the company signaled its focus on hydrogen by launching the fuel cell car Mirai. They started there and, gradually moved beyond fuel cells to combustion engines. The initial results were so promising that Toyota is now preparing to bring this technology to a large scale. Now, let's take a look at the EV battery industry, where Toyota's engine could actually create a major crisis. The biggest requirement for EVs is batteries, which need rare metals like lithium, cobalt, and nickel. The supply of these metals is limited, and mining them is both expensive and polluting. This is exactly why EV prices remain high, and battery replacement is, honestly, a headache for common people. If Toyota's zero-emission combustion engine succeeds, the first blow will be to the battery industry, as it would reduce the need for lithium and cobalt. Large battery packs wouldn't be necessary, nor would the cost of replacing batteries every 7 or 8 years. This would directly affect battery manufacturing companies whose entire business relies on lithium-ion batteries. Imagine companies like Tesla investing billions in gigafactories to make batteries. If hydrogen and synthetic fuel engines take off, that investment could become worthless. It would also be a warning for countries and companies mining lithium and cobalt. Lithium is called white gold due to high demand from EVs, but if the need for EV batteries suddenly decreases, lithium's value could fall, endangering the entire mining industry. Battery manufacturers are worried because the success of hydrogen or zero-emission combustion engines could make their technology obsolete. If electric vehicles' biggest problems, charging time and battery dependency, are eliminated, people will move toward a simpler and faster option, which could be the zero-emission combustion engine. Toyota's initial results show this engine isn't just an experiment but a real challenge to electric vehicles. Testing has proven that hydrogen and synthetic fuel engines match or even exceed electric vehicle performance and range, while offering the convenience customers want, quick refueling and long distance. At the same time, this is, honestly, a nightmare for the electric vehicle battery industry, as their billion-dollar business and reliance on rare metal mining could be in danger. Understanding the difference between electric vehicles and zero-emission combustion engines is crucial because, honestly, this is where the real battle begins. Electric vehicles are making a splash worldwide, seen as a clean and future-ready solution. But, upon closer look, EVs come with some big practical problems for common people. The first is charging. EV drivers always have to think about where to charge, how long it will take, and whether charging stations will be available on the way. Unlike petrol or diesel cars that refuel in just a few minutes, fast charging an EV takes at least 30 to 40 minutes, and slow charging can take 6 to 8 hours. This is a real headache for long-distance travel. The second problem is the battery. The entire EV game relies on batteries, which are expensive, have limited lifetimes, and need replacement after a few years at a cost of several lakhs of rupees. Making batteries requires rare metals like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, whose supply is limited and prices are constantly rising. This keeps EV prices high. Additionally, battery weight reduces vehicle efficiency, and batteries discharge quickly in cold areas. Now, consider the infrastructure needed for EVs, a nationwide charging network. But in most countries, this is still far behind. So, finding EV charging stations in small towns or on highways is actually pretty difficult. EVs are really only suitable for cities where electricity is cheap and charging points are easily available, but honestly, that just isn't the reality for much of the world. And this is also kind of a warning for companies like NIO, which made its mark with a battery swapping model where batteries can be replaced in just a few minutes. Now, let's take a moment to consider the future of the EV market. The EV market is still in its early phase and, well, experts say it will dominate the world in the next 10 to 15 years. But if zero-emission combustion engines succeed, this growth could definitely slow down. Those planning to buy EVs might just wait and choose zero-emission engines instead, causing EV demand to fall suddenly. This would directly impact battery companies and the mining industry for sure. The entire industry depends on consuming rare metals like lithium and cobalt for batteries, but if zero-emission engines are adopted, demand for these metals would drop significantly. Battery companies' billion-dollar business could actually collapse. The impact on the auto industry would be so huge that, honestly, many companies would either adopt this technology or just exit the market. Companies like Tesla and BYD would be forced to work on hydrogen and synthetic fuel, or, well, make their EV technology advanced enough to compete. But there's another aspect here. Zero-emission combustion engines mean customers with old combustion engines can easily shift to this technology. So Toyota could target not only new customers, but also old petrol and diesel users. This would, further weaken EV companies since shifting to EVs seems more expensive and hassle-prone, while zero-emission engines offer basically the same driving experience without the pollution. Clearly, if Toyota's engine succeeds, the entire EV market picture is going to change. For Tesla, BYD, and NIO, this isn't just a technology challenge, but honestly a threat to their entire business model. And governments worldwide might also support this technology since it wouldn't require building expensive charging infrastructure. Zero-emission combustion engines could be, well, the auto industry's biggest game changer, slowing EV growth and shaking up the battery and mining industry. Its impact over the next 5 to 10 years could be so deep that today's EV giants would either have to change strategy or risk being left behind. So, when we talk about zero-emission combustion engines, the first question that comes up is, what benefits will common customers actually get? After all, most car buyers are looking for something that's easy to use, affordable, and reliable. In this area, zero-emission engines really do have a direct advantage over electric vehicles. But here's the thing. With zero-emission engines, refueling with hydrogen or synthetic fuel takes just a few minutes, just like filling up with petrol or diesel today. Customers won't have to wait in line for hours, and they definitely won't have to worry about battery drain. The second big advantage is, well, price and maintenance. You see, batteries are actually the most expensive part of electric vehicles, and they only last for a limited time. Replacing a battery after just a few years can cost several lakhs of rupees. Zero-emission engines avoid this problem by using clean fuel instead of battery packs. This could lower the vehicle's initial cost compared to an EV and reduce long-term maintenance costs. The third advantage is driving experience. Many people aren't satisfied with EV's smooth but silent operation. They want the feel of an engine. Zero-emission combustion engines provide the same sound, power, and response as old combustion engines but without smoke and pollution. So, customers really get the best of both worlds, old-school fun and new zero-emission technology. Now let's talk about global energy politics. Today, governments worldwide promote electric vehicles, spending billions on subsidies, tax benefits, and charging networks. Europe, America, and China have policies considering electric vehicles the future. But if zero-emission combustion engines succeed, these policies could change because, well, government's real goal is to reduce pollution. If that can be achieved with hydrogen or synthetic fuel instead of EVs, why not invest in that direction? Especially in countries where building charging infrastructure is, difficult, This engine could be an easier option than EVs. So, Toyota's new zero-emission combustion engine could truly change the future. The question now is, will this engine leave the EV industry behind, or will both technologies go hand in hand? Whatever the answer, the automobile world will never be the same. If you found this video informative, like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel to be the first to see such big and explosive news.